Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to cover important dates and their themes from November to March. If you like it, then please share and subscribe our channel. Let's start. World Vegan Day is observed on 1st November. Next, the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists is a United Nations recognized day observed annually on 2nd November. Next, the World Tsunami Awareness Day is being observed across the world on 5th November. Next, the International Day for Preventing the Exploitation of the Environment in War and Armed Conflict is observed annually on 6th November. Next, the National Cancer Awareness Day is observed annually in India on 7th November. Next, Uttarakhand state is celebrating its 19th Formation Day 9th November. Next, World Science Day for Peace and Development is celebrated every year on 10th November. Theme: Open Science, Leaving No One Behind. Next, the nation celebrates the National Education Day on 11th November. Next, the World Pneumonia Day is observed every year on 12th November. Next, the World Kindness Day is being observed every year on 13th November. Theme: Empathy, encouraging people across the globe to better understand the pains of others and touch their lives positively. Next, the Public Service Broadcasting Day is being celebrated on 12th November. Next, Children's Day is celebrated on 14th November every year on the birth anniversary of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Next, the World Diabetes Day is being observed every year on 14th November. Theme: The Family and Diabetes. Next, National Press Day observed every year on 16th November. Next, International Day for Tolerance is observed by United Nations all across the world on 16th November. Next, the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims observed every year as the appropriate acknowledgement of victims of road traffic crashes and their family 17th November, third Sunday in November. Theme: Global Plan for the Decade of Action for Road Safety, Safer Vehicles. Next, World Toilet Day is observed across the world on 19th November. Theme: Leaving No One Behind. Next, Kwame Ekta Week to be observed across the country from 19th to 25th November. Next, Universal Children's Day is celebrated annually on 20th November. Next, Africa Industrialization Day being observed on 20th November. Theme: Positioning African industry to supply the AFCFTA market. Next, the World Fisheries Day is celebrated every year on 21st November. Theme: 2022 का है सपना, किसान की आय हो दुगना, संकल्प से सिद्धि. Next, World Television Day being observed on 21st November. Next, the World Philosophy Day 2019 was proclaimed by UNESCO to be celebrated every third Thursday of November. Theme: Orange the World Generation Equality Stands Against Rape. Next, the National Cadet Corps NCC has celebrated its 71st Rising Day all over the country. Next, Constitution Day Samvidhan Divas is being celebrated on 26 November across the country. Next, the National Milk Day is being observed every year on 26 November, and World Milk Day that is observed on 1st June. Next, International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people is being observed on 29th November. Next, the Day of Remembrance for all victims of chemical warfare being observed on 30th November. Next is World AIDS Day is being celebrated every year on 1st December. Theme: Communities Make the Difference. Next is the Border Security Force celebrated its 55th Formation Day on 1st December 2019. Next is Nagaland State celebrated its 57th Formation Day on 1st December 2019. Next is the International Day for the Abolition of Slavery, organized every year on 2nd December. Next is National Pollution Control Day is observed every year on 2nd December. Next is International Day of Person with Disability is observed every year on 3rd of December. Theme: promoting the participation of persons with disabilities and their leadership, taking action on the 2030 Development Agenda. Next is the Indian Navy Day is being observed every year on 4th December. Next is World Soil Day is being observed every year on 5th December. Theme: stop soil erosion, save our future. Next is the International Volunteer Day being observed every year on 5th December. Theme: volunteer for an inclusive future. Next is the Armed Force Flag Day is being observed annually in India on 7th December. Next is International Anti-Corruption Day is being observed annually on 9th December. Theme: United Against Corruption. Next is the United Nations General Assembly established as the International Day of Commemoration and Dignity of the Victims of the Crime of Genocide and of the Prevention of this crime is celebrated 9th December. Next is World Human Rights Day is celebrated annually across the world on 10th December. Theme: Youth Standing Up for Human Rights. Next is International Mountain Day is being observed every year on 11th December. Theme: Mountains Matter for Youth. Next is International Universal Health Coverage Day is being celebrated globally on 12th December. Theme: Keep the Promise. Next is International Day of Neutrality is a United Nations observance held every year on 12th December. Next is Nation pays tribute to martyrs of 2001 parliamentary attacks 13th December. Next is the National Energy Conservation Day is celebrated every year on 14th December. Next is the International Tea Day is observed annually on 15th December. Next is Vijay Diwas is commemorated every year in India on 16th December. Next is the United Nations International Migration Day is being observed every year on 18th December. Next is Goa celebrated its 58th Liberation Day on 19th December. Next is the United Nations International Human Solidarity Day is annually held on 20th December. Next is the National Mathematics Day is being observed every year on 22nd December. Next is Good Governance Day is being observed in India annually on 25th December. Next is the World Braille Day is observed across the world every year on 4th January. Next is National Youth Day is celebrated in India on 12th January. Theme: Fit Youth, Fit India. Next is the World Hindi Day being celebrated across the world every year on 10th January. Next is Armed Forces Veteran Day is celebrated every year on 14th January. Next is in India, the Indian Army Day is observed every year on 15th January. Next is the 15th Rising Day of National Disaster Response Force observed on 19th January. Next is National Immunization Day, also known as Polio Ravivar, was observed on 19th January. Next is India celebrates National Girl Child Day every year on 24th January. Next is the National Voters Day is celebrated every year in India on 25th January. Theme: Electoral Literacy for Stronger Democracy. Next is the National Martyrs Day is observed annually on 30th January. Next is World Leprosy Day is observed annually on last Sunday of January. Theme: Leprosy isn't what you think. Next is the World Wetlands Day was observed on 2nd February. Theme: Wetlands and Biodiversity. Next is the World Cancer Day was observed on 4th February. Theme: I am and I will. Next is International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation 2020 was observed on 6th February. Next is the National Deworming Day was observed across the country on 10th February. Next is the World Pulses Day was observed on 10th February. Next is International Day of Women and Girls in Science was observed on 11th February. Theme: Investment in Women and Girls in Science for Inclusive Green Growth. Next is the World Unani Day was celebrated on 11th February. Next is National Productivity Day 2020 was observed on 12th February. National Productivity Council and Productivity Week will be celebrated from 12 to 18 February. Next is to commemorate the birth anniversary of the father of evolutionary biology, Darwin Day was observed on 12th February. Next is the World Radio Day was observed on 13th February. Theme: Radio and Diversity. Next is National Women's Day was observed on 13th February. Next is the World Pangolin Day was observed across the world on 15th February, third Saturday of February. Next is Soil Health Card Day was observed across the country on 19th February. Next is World Day of Social Justice is being observed annually on 20th February. Theme: Closing the Inequalities Gap to Achieve Social Justice. Next is the International Mother's Language Day is observed annually on 21st February. Theme: Languages Without Border. Next is the World Thinking Day is celebrated on 22nd February. Theme: Diversity, Equality and Inclusion. Next is the Central Excise Day is celebrated every year on 24th February. Next is World Non-Governmental Organization Day was observed annually on 27th February. Next is National Science Day was observed all over India on February 28th. Theme: Women in Science. Next is Rare Disease Day is an observance held on last day of February. Next is the Zero Discrimination Day 2020 was observed globally on 1st March. Theme: Zero Discrimination Against Women and Girls. Next is World Civil Defense Day was observed on 1st March. Theme: Civil Defense and a First Aider in Every Home. Next is the World Wildlife Day is celebrated around the world on 3rd March. Theme: Sustaining all life on earth. Next is the World Hearing Day is observed annually on 3rd March. Theme: Hearing for Life, don't let hearing loss limit you. Next is the National Safety Day is observed every year on 4th March. Theme: Enhance health and safety performance by use of advanced technology. Next is Jan Aushadhi Week was celebrated throughout the country from 1st to 7th March. Next is the International Women's Day 2020 was observed globally on 8 March. Theme: I am Generation Equality, Realizing Women's Right. Next is the Central Industrial Security Force Rising Day is observed every year on 10th March. Next is the World Kidney Day is observed globally on 12th March. World Kidney Day, which is observed globally on 2nd Thursday of March every year since 2006. Next is the World Sleep Day was observed on 13th March. Theme: Better Sleep, Better Life, Better Planet. Next is the International Day of Happiness is celebrated throughout the world on 20th March. Next is the United Nations General Assembly designated the International Day of Forest to celebrate the raise awareness of importance of all type of forest 21st March. Next is the World Down Syndrome Day is celebrated on 21st March. Next is the World Poetry Day is observed every year on 21st March. Next is the International Day for Elimination of Radical Discrimination is observed annually on 21st March. Next is the World Water Day is observed every year on 22nd March. Theme: Water and Climate Change. Next is the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and Transatlantic Slave Trade is observed every year on 25th March. Next is the World Tuberculosis Day observed every year on 24th March. Theme: It's Time. Next is the International Day of Solidarity with Detained and Missing Staff Members is marked each year on 25th March. Next is the World Theatre Day is observed globally every year on 27th March. Thanks for watching.